Today, we're diving into a really powerful concept from the Inventory Mentor's Inventory Fundamentals course. It's all about this. How do you stop guessing and start knowing if your inventory strategy is actually working?
I mean, think about it for a second. You put in all this hard work setting up your forecasting, your classifications, all your ordering rules. You've essentially built this powerful engine that's supposed to manage all your inventory.
But what good is a high-performance engine if you don't have a dashboard? How do you have any idea if it's running smoothly or, if it's about to overheat and break down? Without a way to measure, you're just driving blind.
And this gets right to the heart of that famous quote from Peter Drucker. If you want to make things better, if you truly want to improve, you have to have objective data to see what's really working and what isn't.
So how do we get that visibility? Well, we start by building our dashboard. And the gauges on that dashboard, those are what we call key performance indicators, or KPIs for short.
Just think of KPIs like the most essential gauges in your car. You've got your speedometer, your fuel gauge, your engine temperature light. They give you that instant visibility. They let you track how you're doing over time, and, crucially, they warn you about problems before they turn into total disasters. Now look, you don't need 100 confusing dials blinking at you. You just need to focus on the vitals. And for inventory, that really boils down to 3 key areas: your service level, your cost and efficiency, and the overall health of your processes. So let's look at one key gauge for each of these. All right, first up, and you could argue this is the most important gauge on the entire dashboard because it's why we're all here. Are your customers actually getting what they want when they want it?
The main metric we use for this is called fill rate. And it's a beautifully simple but just incredibly powerful number. It asks a really basic question. When a customer wanted something from you, what percentage of the time did you have it right there on the shelf, ready to go? That's it.
And this is where it all starts to click together, right? This KPI isn't some random number we pulled out of thin air. It directly tells you if you are actually achieving the specific service targets that you intentionally set in the first place. It closes the loop. Okay, next up, let's check the engine's efficiency. Because a high-performance engine isn't just about speed, right? It's also about fuel consumption. And in our world, that fuel is the capital we have tied up in our inventory. For this, we use a KPI called inventory turns. All this tells you is how quickly your inventory is moving through the business. You can think of it as your inventory's velocity. It's a huge indicator of your financial health and how efficient your operation is. And here's where it gets really smart. This KPI connects directly back to your core strategy. You shouldn't have just one turn target for everything. You would absolutely expect your fast-moving A items to turn way more quickly than your slower, long-tail C items. This KPI tells you if your strategy is actually playing out in the real world. Okay, so you're watching your dashboard. But what happens when one of those warning lights starts flashing? You don't just put a piece of tape over it and hope it goes away. No, it's time for a scheduled maintenance checkup. For our inventory engine, that's the management review meeting. Now, the purpose here is absolutely critical. This isn't just a session to read numbers off a screen. It's an active meeting for analysis, for digging into problems, and most importantly, for agreeing on concrete actions that are actually going to lead to improvement.
And having a solid structure is key to making that happen. A proven agenda, something like this one, keeps the meeting focused and super efficient. It moves you from that high-level review right down to specific action plans, all in an hour. The goal is to walk out with solutions, not just more questions.
So here's a crucial point. A warning light on your dashboard tells you what happened. Let's say your oil pressure is low, but it doesn't tell you why. For that, you got to pull over, pop the hood, and actually take a closer look. A KPI is just the symptom. To find a real lasting fix, you have to find the disease. And a fantastically simple but incredibly powerful technique for this is called the 5 whys. By just repeatedly asking why, you can drill past all the obvious surface-level stuff to find the true underlying cause of the problem. Let's just see how it works in practice. So the dashboard's flashing, the fill rate for widgets has tanked. We ask our first question. Why? Well, because we had a stock out. Okay, simple enough. But that's not the root cause. So we ask again, why did we stock out? After a little digging, we see the order was placed too late because our safety stock was too low to cover a delay. Okay, getting warmer, but still.
Why was it too low? Now we're getting somewhere. The forecast was significantly underestimated. Do you see the difference? The real problem isn't a single late order. It's that our whole forecasting method for widgets is broken. That's the problem we actually need to go and solve. This whole process, this diagnosis and action, it isn't a one-time fix. I mean, you don't change the oil in your car once and then expect the engine to run perfectly forever, right? It is a continuous cycle that keeps your inventory engine finely tuned for whatever's coming down the road. This is famously known as the plan, do, check, act cycle. And what you learn in the check phase, through your KPIs, and in the act phase, through your root cause analysis, it feeds directly back into making your future plans even smarter. It's a beautiful, self-correcting loop.
So, to bring it all home, think of your inventory system as an engine and build a dashboard with the vital KPIs. Schedule your regular maintenance checkups, your review meetings, and use them to analyze, not just report. Always look under the hood to find the real problems, and just embrace the fact that improvement is a continuous cycle, not some final destination.
And that brings us to the end of this explainer. You now have the framework to go from just kind of managing inventory to truly optimizing it. So the only question left is, now that your dashboard is switched on, which warning light are you going to check first?